near smart city currently under construction in NEOM, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia's plans for the line have hit a surprising twist. Instead of moving forward, they seem to be taking a step back, from a proposed 105 miles to just 1.49 miles, so the Saudi prince's dream project is still far from success. While Saudi Arabia has adjusted its plans for the line, originally wanting to build a 500-meter-tall mirrored linear city stretching 170 kilometers across the desert accommodating 9 million people, now they're aiming to construct only 2.4 kilometers of it by 2030 with less than 300,000 residents moving in. This decision has led to some workers being let go by at least one contractor on the site, according to a document seen by Bloomberg. Despite the cutbacks, building even this small portion of the line presents a huge engineering challenge. It involves constructing two towering skyscrapers each 500 meters tall, similar to New York's One World Trade Center, stretching sideways for 2.4 kilometers in the middle of the desert. Despite Saudi Arabia's decision to scale back plans for the line, progress hasn't halted entirely. A substantial amount of progress has been achieved on the line site, as the line will comprise interconnected communities known as modules. It was initially planned to have 135 modules, each stretching 800 meters in length and towering 500 meters tall. However, with the recent decision to reduce the line's length to 2.4 kilometers, it is unclear how many modules will be included and whether their dimensions will remain the same as initially intended. Nonetheless, construction is currently progressing on modules 44, 45, 46, and 47 in the hidden marina. Chief Operating Officer of the line at NEOM, Giles Pendleton, has recently published a video showcasing the progress on these modules of hidden marina. A massive amount of geoterring is underway, enabling deeper excavation in the hidden marina. The spine station is beginning to take shape, along with the piling level for the marina modules. It's a tough engineering task because they have to make a 165-meter-wide waterway through buildings that are 500 meters tall. The line and several other major projects are part of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 initiative, led by the Public Investment Fund. These projects, including the line, require over $1 trillion in investment. The primary funding source for the Public Investment Fund is oil revenues, and given the recent significant drop in oil prices, it has been affected. Speaking of Saudi Arabia's dollar reserves, according to Bloomberg reports in 2014, they had cash reserves of $744 billion. However, by 2024, this figure had decreased to $414 billion. Initially, there was hope among the government and the Crown Prince that announcing these mega projects would attract interest and investment from global investors. Even Saudi Arabia had developed a comprehensive plan to increase foreign direct investment in the country each year, with the aim of reaching $100 billion annually by 2030. This indicates that by the year 2030, Saudi Arabia anticipated receiving $100 billion from global sources as per their estimations. But that didn't happen as expected. Regarding the anticipated foreign direct investment for 2023, it was expected to range between $25 to $27 billion, yet the actual inflow amounted to only $19 billion. So, Saudi Arabia is now heavily relying on oil revenues to support its mega projects, but these revenues are decreasing as oil prices drop. To possibly raise oil prices, Saudi Arabia may propose extending the limits on oil production by OPEC, which it leads along with Russia. These limits have helped keep oil prices stable or even increase. However, despite these efforts, oil prices are still below the level needed for Saudi Arabia to finance its ambitious plans. Bloomberg Economics suggests that Saudi Arabia needs oil to be priced at least $108 per barrel to balance its budget, taking into account domestic spending by the Public Investment Fund. While oil prices have increased recently, they are still below $90 per barrel. Now, Saudi Arabia is funding many projects from its own resources, which incurs significant losses because when you invest from your own budget, your money remains tied up until the project is completed and starts generating revenue. This reliance on internal funding has led to a decline in available cash reserves, currently standing at just $15 billion, the lowest since 2020. This situation highlights the financial challenges facing Saudi Arabia, and according to some sources, Saudi Arabia has recently approached Kuwait, its smaller neighbor, seeking over $16 billion in financing for various projects, including NEOM. This funding has been provided to Saudi Arabia, but if this trend continues, can Saudi Arabia fulfill its Vision 2030 goals, or will projects like the line face further reductions in length? Moreover, NEOM is set to launch its first project this year, which will undoubtedly have a significant impact on NEOM's overall development, particularly on the line project. If this project named Sindala proves successful, it could greatly benefit NEOM and attract more investors. However, if it fails, it could negatively affect all of NEOM's projects. In short, the success of Sindala is crucial for Saudi Arabia and for attracting investors to NEOM. If it succeeds, there are high chances that more investors will be inclined to invest in NEOM. While the construction in Sindala is progressing rapidly, the exact launch date has not been confirmed yet. In addition, in the event of failure, NEOM's reliance on public investment funds would increase, which largely depends on oil reserves. In today's changing trends, there's a shift away from fossil fuel towards green energy. Consequently, Saudi Arabia is also making significant advancements in developing an advanced system for energy, water, and green hydrogen. Aligned with this vision, NEOM aims to use clean resources effectively. They are not only building grid infrastructure but also dedicated to preserving the environment through innovative and sustainable technology. NEOM's major achievement so far has been the development of a project worth over $8 billion to construct solar and wind farms. These farms will produce green hydrogen, a type of fuel made using renewable energy sources.